There are basically 12 companies that not only control most of the food that you eat, but also have the power to save or destroy billions of lives. So who are these companies? What power do they actually have? How did they get so powerful? And what can we do to democratize the food system? If you walk around a shop and you see a packet of crisps, a chocolate bar, a bottle of shampoo, some ice cream, they all have different brand names. So it's not obvious they all come from the same parent company. But the overwhelming majority of brands you see come from these 12 different big companies. Not only does this give you, the consumer, the illusion of choice, but it also concentrates power and control over climate, over health, over people, over animals in the hands of a very few. So Nestle, for example, has Nesquik, Nespresso, Nestea, all of these different brands, all under one big parent company. Nestle's got about 2,000 brands in total. PepsiCo has about 400 to 500 different brands, and includes stuff like Pepsi, Lay's, Doritos, a wide range of snacks. Unilever, despite producing so many things, has about 400 to 500 food brands only, including PG Tips, Ben & Jerry's, Hellmann's, and Pot Noodle. Coca-Cola is probably one of the most well-known brands, and has about 200 to 500 sub-brands, including Fuze Tea, Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite, and Vitamin Water. Mars Incorporated has got a smaller portfolio, but very powerful, and some hidden ones in the pet food industry as well. So they have Uncle Ben's, Wrigley's Gum, Mars Chocolate, and also Purina Pet Food. And I'll list the others on the screen because we could be here for ages going through all the different brands. So only 10 companies get about 34% of all global revenue from food and beverage sales. And Cargill, a massive food ingredient brand, gets about 11.5% of total market revenue. Just one brand gets 10%, 1/10 of all of the revenue. So how did we get to a state where such a few amount of brands have so much power and so much money? So despite consumers having more brands to choose from than ever before, seemingly, there's been increased consolidation over the last few decades. So what I mean by that is a bigger brand will buy out a smaller brand that's doing well, so that way they can make profit from it, or they'll buy out a brand that's a competitor, so that way they can either make money from it or just basically destroy the brand to reduce competition. This then ends up to more profit for those big brands, which gives them more resources to buy more brands and consolidate the market more and more. It's this cycle that goes on. They also have lots of money to lobby politicians, and that way they can get new laws and regulations which benefit them and hinder competition. But you may be thinking, well, why is this an issue? Why does it matter if only a few companies control all of the food that we eat? The reason is because they control so many brands, they control so many supply chains. They control so many supply chains because they need so many ingredients for all these different brands and to meet the level of sales they're creating. Because they have so much disproportionate power, they can control prices, labor practices, deforestation, environmental practices. They basically have the final say, because if the farmer doesn't agree to what they're saying, well, who else is going to buy their products when they control so much? And usually the practices that they want in their supply chain are not good for the farmers because they prioritize profit over positive impact. That's how they've gotten to be so massive. They also have large control about the actual ingredients that go into the food. So they can control whether it's ultra processed or not, whether it's high in fat, salt and sugar or not. This has a major health impact on you, on the nation, on society, and it's costing all of us money because our taxes go towards supporting the healthcare system, which is being overburdened by the poor dietary choices facilitated by these 12 companies. They make life hard on family farms because the farmers can't compete, so they either get bought out and subsumed into the larger brands, or they have to go out of business or change completely. They're awful for animal welfare because, again, they prioritize profit over positive impact. They just need to create as many products as possible, and so they treat everything and everyone in their supply chain like a cog, a machine, not a sentient being. They have to destroy the environment to make room to grow all of the ingredients they need in order to feed us. So before we move on and look at the opportunities for good, If you've learned anything new or you found this video interesting, please like and subscribe. I'll be doing lots of other videos about the food system. Let me know if there's anything in particular you want to find out more about, and I will try and make a video on it. So whilst consolidated power can be a bad thing, it can also be a really effective way of creating large-scale change, because all it takes is one company to make a commitment for it to have a massive ripple impact. For example, if these companies make a cage-free egg commitment, that means millions, if not billions, of eggs will now come from chickens that come from cage-free farms, as opposed to a small independent brand making that commitment, which might only impact a few hundred or few thousand chickens. And when these brands adopt higher welfare, environmentally friendly, fair trade commitments, the impact is huge on people, planet, and animals. And you can see that public scrutiny does make an impact. Just check out this graph from 2013 that looks at the time, the top 10 parent companies and their score on different environmental and social aspects. You can see that the best performing one got 38 out of 70, whilst the worst performing one only got 13 out of 70. Fast forward 3 years and you can see a striking change. This time, the best performing brand scored 52 out of 70, and the worst performing brand scored 25 out of 70. That brings the bottom scoring one to nearly double the amount of points as it was just 3 years ago. Whilst it can be scary that so much power is held in the hands of so few, there's also really big opportunities for change if we can work to get these few companies to make big changes. So that's the optimism that I hold on to. That's why I work in food systems, and by educating more people about this, they have more control to write to your local politician to ask them to set up stricter regulation, choose to buy from independent brands which are not engaging in negative practices, or write into the larger brands to ask them to update their policies. It can seem like we don't have much power or control as individuals, but as collectives, we can influence policy. We've seen what's happened in just 3 years from public pressure. Imagine what we can do in the next 3 to 5 years. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. It's been interesting for me to learn more about this subject and share it with you. Like and subscribe, let me know what you learnt, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.